The reunion no one expected. Leland Sklar had always been the quiet force behind some of the greatest hits in rock history. From working with artists like James Taylor to Billy Joel, his bass playing shaped the sound of a generation. But one name, one collaboration, has been clouded in mystery for years: Linda Ronstadt. For decades, the public only knew what they read or heard in passing. The rumors swirled, stories of intense studio sessions, unsung battles, and a quiet chemistry between Leland and Linda that no one fully understood. But after years of silence, Leland Sklar finally spoke up about his time working with Linda Ronstadt. And what he revealed was nothing short of shocking. Linda Ronstadt, one of the most iconic voices of the 70s and 80s, had a reputation for being a perfectionist. Her incredible voice was complemented by a fiery personality that sometimes clashed with the strong-willed musicians she worked with. Leland's take on their relationship and the music they created together was honest, raw, and not what fans were expecting. For years, Leland had stayed quiet, only ever hinting at the complexities of their collaboration. But now, with age and reflection, he opened up about those pivotal moments in the studio, when every note played could make or break the magic they were trying to create. He spoke of the long hours, the tension, and yet the undeniable respect they had for one another. But what really caught everyone off guard was the story of how Linda's unpredictable nature often took the band by surprise. What was it like behind the scenes of those legendary sessions? And why did Leland wait so long to share his side of the story? Stay tuned, because this is only the beginning of a tale that will change how you see both Linda Ronstadt and the musicians who stood by her side. A picture of perfectionism. When Linda Ronstadt walked into a recording studio, it wasn't just another day at work. It was a mission. She wasn't simply a singer, she was a perfectionist who demanded the best from herself and those around her. According to Leland, Linda could be intense, almost to the point of being unbearable. She had a vision, and if you didn't align with that vision, you were out. But Leland never seemed to mind. He understood her drive. As a session musician, he had been through enough grueling studio work to know that magic didn't come easy. It was about putting in the hours, honing the sound, and achieving that perfect moment where everything just clicked. For Linda, the moments that clicked were rare, and she would push the musicians harder than anyone else. What people didn't know was that Linda's quest for perfection wasn't just about the music, it was about control. She needed to control the environment, the sound, and the energy. Sometimes, that meant battling her band members. Leland wasn't the only one who had to endure her fiery bursts. The backup singers, the engineers, and even the producers felt the pressure of Linda's expectations. Leland, however, had a way of making peace with it. He didn't take things personally. He respected Linda's vision, and he loved the music they were making together. He knew that in the end, all of the tension would pay off in the form of something legendary. And as they worked together, something started to happen. Linda began to trust him more, and Leland began to see a different side of her. The breakthrough moment. The breakthrough moment came during the recording of Heart Like a Wheel, one of Linda Ronstadt's most iconic albums. It wasn't just a musical masterpiece, it was a turning point in Leland's career. This was the album that took Linda into the stratosphere of stardom. But it didn't come easy. Leland vividly remembers one particular session where everything seemed to go wrong. The band was tired, the mood was tense, and nothing seemed to be falling into place. Linda was visibly frustrated, and it felt like the whole room was about to collapse under the weight of the pressure. That was when Leland stepped in. He took the bass and began to play a simple, rhythmic pattern, a quiet call to everyone in the room to focus. Slowly, the other musicians joined in. It wasn't magic right away, but the song began to come to life, one note at a time. Linda's eyes lit up as she heard the sound forming around her. For the first time that day, she let go of the reins and allowed the band to breathe. That moment of release, that moment of collaboration, shifted everything. The room was filled with a different energy. It wasn't just about Linda or the band anymore, it was about the music. And the sound they created together? It was pure magic. This was the moment when Leland knew that no matter how tough the journey had been, it was worth it. The unspoken bond. Over time, Leland developed a unique relationship with Linda, a bond that went beyond music. They shared a mutual respect that neither one could fully articulate. It wasn't just about the notes they played together, it was about the understanding they had for each other's artistic process. Leland would often stand back and watch Linda work, mesmerized by her ability to transform emotion into sound. Their collaboration was one of those rare moments in music history where the chemistry between artist and musician became something greater than the sum of its parts. Linda wasn't just another singer. She was an emotional conduit, a force of nature who could bend her voice to convey the deepest human experiences. Leland, on the other hand, was the steady hand, the foundation upon which the music stood. As Linda's career skyrocketed, Leland's role remained behind the scenes. But to him, it didn't matter. He knew that the music they created together was special, and that was enough. Even though Linda's public persona was larger than life, Leland was content with the quiet, unspoken bond they shared. In many ways, it was the perfect partnership. She could be the star, and he could be the one who helped her shine. The untold stories and the legacy. As Leland finally spoke up about his time with Linda Ronstadt, fans and fellow musicians were shocked by the insight he offered. What he shared wasn't just about Linda's eccentricities or the struggles they faced together, it was about the lasting impact of their collaboration. The music they created wasn't just a reflection of that moment in time, it was a piece of history that still resonates today. Leland's decision to speak up came at a time when fans were rediscovering the magic of the 70s and 80s. The rock era was fading, and many of the stars who had defined it were now in their twilight years. But Leland wasn't just reflecting on the past, he was reminding the world of the power of the music they made. And in that reflection, something else emerged. The truth about Linda Ronstadt's legacy became clearer. She wasn't just the voice of an era, she was a force who changed the way we think about music. And Leland Sklar, in his quiet, unassuming way, was right there beside her, helping to craft that legacy note by note. The final thought. As we close this story, it's clear that the collaboration between Leland Sklar and Linda Ronstadt was more than just a chapter in music history. It was a testament to the power of artistry, dedication, and mutual respect. After years of silence, Leland finally opened up about what it was like to work with one of the greatest voices in rock, and the world now has a deeper understanding of the magic that transpired behind closed studio doors. But there's one thing Leland wants everyone to remember: the music will always speak louder than words. It's the music that endures, the notes that stay with us, long after the stories fade away. And as for Leland and Linda, their bond, though quiet, was a profound reminder of what happens when two artists truly connect. And with that, the legend of their collaboration lives on, proving that sometimes, the quietest voices have the most powerful stories to tell.